we're gonna be changing this light right here. I will have a link in the description for the lights that I purchased, but they come with wiring up to your side markers so they can actually flash up, because this is nothing but a LED reflector, kind of like no power, and it's just by law they have to have these on so they can reflect off the other lights. But after we're done, it's actually gonna glow up, and the ones I'm replacing it with, both right here, are smoked. So I'm gonna be showing y'all how to change both. These are fairly simple because these motherfuckers just pop out, but it's a bitch to get to this on a wide body because this part actually has to come off, and you have to remove part of that rear matte black bumper. So we'll get into the motion. I'll kind of show you guys how to do it, but yeah, just to show you guys what we're getting into today. All right, we're gonna switch the camera angles now. All right, so I just wanna go over what you need kind of list, because that's gonna save you a lot of time during this install. So you're gonna have a pair of dikes. The reason why I have a pair of dikes is because there's plastic rivets on there, and I'm not too good at removing plastic rivets. Every time I've tried to remove plastic rivets, they've always given me a hard fucking time. So we'll kind of go over that, and I'll give you guys an angle and a point of view on that, but I always cut those plastic rivets. That's why I have a plastic push clip kit, so I can kind of source out exactly a replacement for those. These are pretty cheap. I'll have a link in the description, but you're gonna need some dikes, some plastic removal trim tools. I have a ratchet, 7mm. I have 7, 10, and 8, I believe, just to be safe. And I also have a 7mm ratchet and wrench. And then I also have a flathead screwdriver, soldering iron, some solder, some flux, and I have my 2 lights that I'm going to replace. And I would say that's pretty much it. So first things first, in order to get off this, they're actually 2 separate pieces. The wide body is 1 piece, and this is 1 piece. In order to eventually get back there, what we're gonna need to do is pull off this matte black piece of the bumper. And it's actually held in by clips to your actual bumper itself. But little did I know that these and these are 2 separate pieces. So if you can pull all day, and if this wide piece of wide body's blocking, it's not gonna come off. So we're gonna set up some camera angles and see how to get this piece off so that part we can pull off this matte black rear plastic trim. So let's get underneath the car and we can kind of go from there. Okay, so we are actually underneath the car where the wide body is. So I just kind of want to go over it. We have, it's going to be kind of hard to film, but we have this clip here, this clip here, this clip here, and this clip here. So in order to take these clips off, you're going to push on the clip and then pull out on the other side. As you also have these 7mm bolts, 1 here and 1 here. So I'm gonna take off these clips, and then I will push on the wide body after I remove these clips and these screws, and you guys can kind of see exactly how it's going to come off. And that light on the side is actually really simple. It just comes off right here. You push this clip and you pull forward and you push out, and that's gonna release your light. The reason why I wanna release this light, 1, I'm changing this one, and 2, we have to wire up the rear to this wire. So I'll show you guys how to splice that in a little bit. But we'll start with this first, and then we can kind of move forward. These are the plastic rivets, the ones I was telling you about that I cut. There's a 10mm bolt up here as well on the other side of the wheel lining, but these 10mm, these plastic rivets are the ones that I like to just cut out and replace with my own because they're super hard to get out. I've struggled with them. All you have to do is get like a small drill bit, push in and smack, and they should just pop right out, but I always have issues with them. So to save me time, because I have my plastic clip kit, I'm going to just replace all this shit with clips that I have. But that's another way. I'll show you guys if it works for you. If it works for you, then if not, but I'll show you guys a tip and a trick to get those out, but I'm just gonna cut them myself. So I'll tap back in as soon as I get all this off. Okay, I just wanted to get a visual and see if I could show y'all how to get these clips off. So just get the clip here, push. It's kind of hard to film and do it, but get the clip here, push it fucker in, just like that, and then they come right out, and you just slide them out. Be careful with this one, like I did. Try not to break the clip, but that's basically how you get it out. If you just push evenly, it'll pop right out. Okay, so once you get all these clips out in those two 7mm bolts, we're gonna work our way to the bender, and I'll show you guys where the 10mm bolt is next. And then after we take out that 10mm, I'm gonna come back and actually cut all these fucking rivets out. But I'm gonna show you a tip and trick if you do wanna save your rivets before you end up cutting them with dikes, how to actually pop those plastic rivets out. Okay, so you can see all the rivets kind of going down. What you would normally do is you would take a drill bit or some sort, or maybe a punch, get in that hole and you push, and that'll actually pop it out. So you can see I just come out with a pair of dikes and I just kind of get on the nipple and I just cut them. And then you can kind of just cut them off just like that, and then kind of just wedge them out, no problem. After you cut them, I just kind of pry something underneath and then I just pull them out just like that, and then they come right out. See, after you cut those edges, they come right out. Do the rest for all of them on the lining. And you also have a clip behind this that's holding that arm that keeps this aligned, so we'll get to that. After you get those out, I kind of get a flathead and I pull this lining back, and you see this one here. I actually try to save that because it comes out easy, and it doesn't really matter because I do have a clip kit, so I'm not too worried about that, but I popped this one out. You can use your plastic trim removal tool and it should be easy. So after you get this piece off here, you actually pull the bumper to remove the wide body, because there's one more white clip and there's one more 7mm screw. So in order for this to come off, you notice these are actually two separate pieces like I was mentioning earlier. So you can pull and pull and pull on this all day, but if you don't get this piece of the wide body off first, then it's actually not gonna do shit, because you're pulling against this and ultimately you'll fuck up your fitment because you will bend your wide body. So you have to take this off. This is the scary part, and I'll show you why. Because fucking with these bumpers, you really gotta pull, but not break it, and you gotta pull it. I'll show you guys now. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how to actually take this part off so you can loosen up that last 7mm and that last clip on the top. So you're gonna grab here, grab it pretty firmly here, and you're gonna pull just like that. So I know it gets kind of scary because you're like, holy shit, I just broke it. But if you notice, if you come a little closer here and you look at these clips, as long as this is not broken, this is not broken, this is not broken, and this is not broken, it'll actually go right back in, because this piece here actually goes within a groove. So you're actually all good, but you kind of have to do that in order to get access to this. So y'all can see that last plastic clip here, and then there's actually a bolt inside of that as well. And this bolt is actually right here, which was tucked behind this piece of plastic. And you really don't want to try to screw that off while it's still connected, because then you're kind of like forcing against the thread. It'll unscrew, but you're forcing against the thread, and you can kind of fuck up the threaded insert in there. So we have that 7mm bolt here, and the last plastic clip here, and then the wide body is actually just gonna come off. I will show you guys kind of how you have to manipulate these clips a little bit. Some of those had the push-in tabs, but if you can look closely here, you can see that all you have to do is get a flathead screwdriver. My finger in this motherfucker. Okay, here it is. All you gotta do is get a flathead screwdriver behind that, slightly push, and then it'll all come out. So I'm gonna take off that white clip and that 7mm screw, and then we'll go from there. I got that last white clip off here, and then that 7mm bolt that was here. So I got those off. So now I'm just gonna slightly pull these clips with that little shit on it at the end forward, and then the whole shit's gonna slide off. As y'all can see, the wide body came right off. Those little pushing clips that I talked about before, there's two of them, so you just have to, as you're taking it off, you have to push in with the flathead and then kind of pull. Great example. So you can see the space you have here, the space here, you wedge and you twist, and then this lip kind of comes down. There we go. So there's that fucking first one. You really just gotta play with that shit. It's not fun. But the first one is the hardest one. So now you start working on the second one, and they should be relatively easy because now you have a lip and a groove to kind of go off of. The first one, you're just kind of getting in there blind. Use the wider side now. Okay, so that's 2. You work your way around. You can kind of see why this is the fucking hard part. And don't worry, they're just as hard to put the fuck back in, because you have to bend that fucking plastic. Boom, pops up. Having a hard time getting to his eye. There it goes. Yeah. So there's that one. Aggressive with this shit, I know. You kind of have to be. All right, so from that point, right, we're going to take our 10 millimeter bolt and we're gonna take off this threaded shit right here. Break it loose. It's plastic, so it really shouldn't be too hard to get off. So that metal piece that comes off, that came off just now, is actually this piece here, and you're gonna wanna use that for your new light. So, and it comes right out. Save all your OEM parts. The car's worth more with all the parts, so say that, motherfucker, but yeah. So, now that we have this old part out, we're going to put our new part in. So, as you guys can tell, it's wired up. And I know you see a wire here, but that wire is actually for the parking sensor. It doesn't have to do with these lights. So, we're gonna, first things first, run this motherfucker through. Do this little hole here. And I want this wires to come out of this side. So we got a good twist on them. I wanna come through and see if I can feed to the other side. I got some through. Oh, there they are. Okay, so now that I got my wires partially fed, I can install this motherfucker. To push this side clip in. You heard that pop? You're gonna get your 10 millimeter washer thing here. Get that little 10 millimeter. And we're gonna put that on the opposite side of it, where it came off, like on the other one. I'm gonna take off these gloves because they're fucking ripped anyway. Put that on. And then we're just gonna thread that bad boy on there. Mind you, it's just biting on plastic, so don't go super tight. You're just getting it snug. Now you have to figure out where to tuck your wire and where to run your wire. And ultimately, we're gonna get on the other side and we're gonna wire it up to the other side. First, I'm gonna tuck this up in here and then we're gonna go underneath the car and kind of find a safe spot so we can route it. Okay, as y'all can see, through that first tuck, the wires actually ended up coming out through here, right? So I'm going to pull these wires now. And I will kind of go over where I'm gonna route. Okay, so y'all see this piece of plastic, right? I'm gonna come up and over around. I'm zip tying to that. That way I'm away from all the heat. Okay, y'all see where I did? Zip tied it up so it's up and over. And then from this point, I'm just gonna get this motherfucker here. And then I have enough slack and we can work on the outside of the car. But cut that zip tie. I'm gonna pop this motherfucker out. There's one push clip here and then that should just slide out. So I might be able to just do that right now so y'all can see. Pop that motherfucker. See, now it's out from the outside. I'm just gonna pull it and slide it out. And just come right out. You see what I'm saying? So I'll show y'all now where I'm at with the wiring and we can do the splicing. Okay, so we're back outside the car and I don't have to do any more contortionist yoga. So let me show you guys exactly my game plan of how I'm gonna strip these wires and bite into the pre-existing wiring harness. Got that nice and zip tied. Cut this motherfucker and then I can install my new light. There we go. Okay. That was a bitch. So you push that motherfucker in and that's kind of how it goes. So y'all can kind of see. There's a lot of wiring videos on YouTube, so I'm not gonna go over it too much, but just double check your shit before you put it back together. You can see this one is lighting up. Oh shit, zoomed in. This one's lighting up. and also the one in the back. Go ahead and pull that plastic. Boom. And then this one's lighting up too. Yeah, just double check all your shit before you put it all back together, but wiring looks good. It's just the connector was fighting me a little bit. All right, so we're kind of in the back of the car right now, and we'll start popping this shit back in. Push, that went back in. So push this motherfucker. I don't know if you'll be able to yet, but kind of push that in for fitment. It helps. So push that in and push and click. You heard that shit snap in. And then this one as well. You want to put one hand behind here, one hand on this, and push and clip. And then we're kind of running into that issue like we talked about earlier, how you have to bend up on those tabs because it doesn't want to just go back in. So if you run into this problem, what you're gonna do, grab like a rag, get behind this tab, and just bend it up, right? Not too much. This shit is extremely pliable, so don't worry about it snapping off on you. Just kind of bend them up because they have to go in. Remember that lip clip angle. So you just kind of have to bend it up and bend it up. So come up and one hand behind. Boom, popped right in. You heard that pop, popped right in. You heard that pop in, boom. And just like that, you are back together. Ugh. All of your threaded inserts are still on there, 1, 2, 3, because that's actually what the bolt threads into. So this one's actually backwards. And you wanna make sure that they're all like this. And you can see exactly how this bites in. Bottom. It goes right back on. We want to come around here, and you just want to make sure that all these plastics line up into here. And you heard that click. So from that point, you do your 3 bolts. There's 1, 2, 3. Originally, how we took it off. So we want to start putting those 7mm bolts back in. And then at the very end, after you put your 7mm bolts in, you can focus on those, that 10mm bolt. So before I put my bolts in, I'm going to put these clips back in. There it goes, that's one. There's a little lip. If you look right here, this little piece has to go into a slot. So you kind of have to angle this bitch a little bit. You gotta push up and over. Come up and over. There it goes. Nice. This part's gonna go in here, and then you're just gonna clip everything back together. Okay, so this is what I pop in with my replacement clips, but I'm gonna put that 10mm back in first to kind of help align everything. Last bolt in this bitch. Push this motherfucker up. Oh shit, why'd I do that? Oh no, okay. And that's it, baby. And that's how you install these lights on the 2021 Dodge Challenger Scat Pack wide body. That shit was a bitch, I'm not gonna lie, but we all done. I got an appointment to get to. Appreciate y'all.